Hello. Right. Hello there. Okay. Well, okay. Because my sort of plan for this evening was Mazdak hitting the books in the library. So, but I don't want to do that if you're not wanting to, because obviously I'm going to be trying to find information about stuff, and it's going to be lots of talking. Okay. Well, if you're thinking that we can always stop. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Welcome to Damage Does D&D. Tonight we are with the investigators investigating things, because that's what investigators do. Dear Martin, take it away.
So, last time, the party had got a good night's sleep in the fire giant city of Gretaverg and woke up in the morning. Kral had been collected and taken back to the forges, where he was happy to carry on working on the crossbow. We'll catch up with Kral, as Ash was absent last time there. And then he started to leave the city. All the while, there was just a few rumbles in the background, just under the feet. Just harmless. Completely harmless. And it wasn't all that suspicious to begin with, and there was the thought it was just the forges getting up and running again. But as it continued to get worse, as you guys had begun moving away from the city, these rumbles got harder, more noticeable even, even being further from the epicenter. Talks turned inwards to figure out what this might actually be, and they seem to be getting the blame for most of it. Very tense discussions as the truth was uncovered and what the repercussions of that might be, as before finally making it out of the long path down up the inside of the mountain, and meeting a storm giant that you'd met previously, Sjorgen, who was panicked by the situation and had offered to carry you to safety, so whipped up a tornado and carried you extremely quickly back to the capital, Bertha. Dropped you off, told you to get to the portal and leave before disappearing again. And before you indeed did leave, the mountain exploded. But you took the portal back to Cantisha, had a quick chat with Lucrezia, who offered to walk you back to your house so she could have a more private conversation, and played a magical recording of an interaction between ex-Grandmaster Severill and current Grandmaster Stanyard, where Severill seems to be concerned about Stanyard's integrity. Sasha had gone off to blow off some steam. Salviel had gone off to pay a visit to her temple. Amarius was unfazed and went to bed. Others, I think, also had gone to bed. I believe Kral probably would have headed to the workshop. But we will pick back up. We're just going to roll back a little bit, give Ash a little bit of space to tell us what Kral has been up to over the course of those events, particularly if there's anything he wants to insert for that period. So Ash, over to you.
So first thing would be the interaction regarding Seti's forbidden section. Perfectly fine with Mazdak trying to gain entrance, that's fine. But Imarius under no circumstances is going in that library. And it's for two reasons. The abundance of mushrooms that appear whenever Imarius does these things now, and then his Freudian slip of what she will want, or what she would want, has kind of secured it of who his new patron is. And it's even more reason, and he'll be having a conversation regarding that. So when it comes to the explosion, Imarius' accusation that Kral is the one who caused it hit hard because it's what he believes himself. He dropped the ring into the lava vindictively without using his usual intelligent and logical approach to things. and he failed to use the perceptiveness and consideration that his father had drilled into him. This is the dwarf who raised him, and he feels like he's failed as a Grimblson and a member of the wider clan and guild. He's failed of their principles. Kral believes that, however, that had Amarius not angered his previous patron, the explosion may not have happened, as they may not have felt the need to try and exact retribution on him. And then, obviously, Kral would have gotten sort of close to the lava and begged the entity not to hurt the giants and to take him and Amarius instead, as innocent shouldn't pay for their mistakes. But yeah, there was also another consideration, which was, he would have wanted to hand himself over to the Storm Giants, but knew that if he had done so, the rest of the party wouldn't have left in time to get to safety. So there's a consideration there, and the thoughts he's got at the moment is, can he go back while the rest of the party sleeps? What would that achieve? Can he live with it if he didn't go back? And the other consideration is, can he abandon his friends to the remainder of this task just to assuage his own guilt? So that's where we are at the moment.
Well, thanks, Ash, for filling that in. Finny, are you a salmon?
No, I did the whole timey-wimey thing when he first started, and then I was undoing the.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So that's us filled in with Kral from the last episode. So for tonight, we're going to pick up in the Temple of Liasol, where Salviel had entered in the evening, trying to find some sort of answers to some pretty big questions that she was having. So, I think the gist of it, Debbie, feel free if you want to repeat the question that you'd asked the Wishing Well, or I can just sort of summarise if you want.
I think summarise, because it'll end up being a summary as well.
Yeah, just a little bit of doubt, and am I really supposed to, or is she really supposed to carry on with this mission with these people who want to do some pretty insane things? I've completed the task that was given. Where do I go from here? That about?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So as you sat there, sort of on the edge of this little wishing pool, with your bag of coins as you'd flipped it in, or flipped the first one in. And you go and speak your words into the pool, hoping for some sort of answer or sign, at least. You hear a voice behind you. It says, "Can be hard, can't it?" And you turn and see sitting and sat.
New verb.
They're both past tense. Why do we need both? No, one's present. Jesus. There is this
Liasol, not Jesus.
You see this gold dragonborn chap, probably in his 60s, in this absolutely exquisite white suit with some gold trim that perfectly matches his scale tone.
Colonel Sanders? I'm sorry. And with that, Salviel was struck down and was never heard from again.
Anyone in a white suit? Okay. And he, despite the unfavorable comparison, he continues as you turn to look at him. He says, "Oh, Leosol doesn't speak to us directly like other gods might. We may get visions of the past, present, or even future. But then we have to interpret what we are to do with that information. I like to think that this means our faith has to be stronger and our connection deeper. It seems like you are having some difficulty, young follower.
Maybe Leosol doesn't speak to other people, but I believe our relationship is special.
Really? You've spoken directly to Leosol themselves.
Leosol has spoken directly to me and guided me here.
That is indeed peculiar. You must indeed be special. But it is not common. Especially in these uncertain times. Perhaps there is somewhere else you could seek some reassurance. I'm sorry, I saw your face. I am not trying to sell you anything. I am a high priest of Leosol.
And yet you're still trying to sell me elsewhere.
No, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Unless you want half of this Danish.
No.
It's curious, says sort of waving this Danish.
So I'm just looking
How-
for Denmark on the map.
It's curious how Leosol tends to work. Sort of still gesturing at this pastry. I only got back into the city an hour ago. Been away for some time. I was heading to my preferred bar over in the east of the city, and my nose was tempted by something, so I followed it. There was a little stall set up, selling these wonderful pastries right outside of the temple district. Very curious, so I had to, as I was lured to there so effectively. I went and spoke to the lady that was selling her pastries, and she tells me this mundane story of her bakery being off limits due to some roadworks that the geomancers are working on down that road. So she packed up all of her wares for the day and set off around the city. And her last stop before leaving was just to see what else she could get rid of outside the temple district, which lured me there. And it's very nice. I can recommend if she's still there on your way out. But I saw the temple and I figured I'd wander in. These threads of fate that Leosol tends to work with, that lead us to the places that we need to be, not where we believe we're going. This is what intrigues me about Leosol. And here I sit on the whims of a Danish. back in my old temple. And here I see you, possibly in need of some guidance. But the advice I give you is just to see, look, experience the world. And those little coincidences that put you in places you don't expect might just be exactly where Leosol wants you to be.
So you'll forgive me for having come here expecting something a little more direct than an implication that Leo's soul is become god of fate, fortune, and fine pastries.
Well, I'm not Leosol themselves, so I cannot say whether you will receive direct communication.
Inside check. Inside check.
I'm hearing a second
is
voice
the
whispering in my
pastry.
ear.
Yeah, inside
Nothing
check that
double.
pastry. Inside check that pastry.
That way lies madness. Yeah, but
Oh,
no,
yeah.
forget inside.
Wait, I'm
Please.
Speedy.
Channel.
Are you inside checking?
I'm going to inside check the priest.
Okay.
I see at least 3 people hinting to me that I should, so this is also my first inside check on this character, so why not?
Wow.
I think the priest is the wrong thing to insight check here, but never mind.
But you
The
also
check.
think I should be inside checking the pastry. Inside check the god who hasn't turned up to the conversation. That's a 23.
Oh,
It's a very good roll.
Pastries again.
There doesn't seem to be anything about this individual that would make you think they are not just some priest of Leosol.
Just a bit eccentric.
Perhaps just a bit eccentric.
Yeah, I was having a flash of small gods there from all that we know. God, the pastry is Leo Soul, and we just need to believe in them.
yep.
No. It seems perhaps my time here was not welcome. So I will leave you to your musings.
And with that, I will turn my attention back to the water because that's what Salviel would do.
Okay. So the priest ups and leaves. Do you continue to sit there asking questions?
Yeah, no, my intention was to at least spend the pouch of gold that I had with me glaring at Leo Soul or at the water and kind of muttering comments about why you're holding out on me now. We have had direct conversation before, I'm not imagining it. Give me my choices, where are my choices, etc. Not expecting any particular answers after what the priest has said about, Leo Soul coming to the world and the incarnations of pastry, but, kind of making the point of, I am annoyed with you.
Okay. You continue to flip gold coins into the little pool there, but you can choose how many gold you get through and how long you sit there.
I'm thinking probably a couple of hours, like 1 or 2 hours type of thing. And just to be exactly the kind of petty bitch that Salviel would be, throwing exactly 69 coins before I walk out.
Yes. Okay.
This was a small pool, wasn't it? Like paddling pool sized.
Yeah. Certainly not deep water.
No, just more thinking of the image of like a grown woman sitting there with her feet almost dangling in. Or like what Ash is doing, kind of like throwing in the coins with force, kind of going, answer me!
Okay. Back at the house, is anyone doing anything?
Are we back in the morning, or have we rolled back a bit from that?
If there's anything you want to do in the evening, we can do that. I know we've kind of jumped about a bit on the time scale here.
I'd probably be busy with the conversation I had with Nagale and spending time with Meglina.
Which fights I got into, how many I won, and how much money I made or lost.
You'd have definitely made money as you had to travel around a little bit because in one place you ran out of people to fight. Let's give you a number there. You've won 38 gold in the evening.
I'll take that.
What are the chances of that out of 100?
Who says I rolled a D100?
Could have been 2d20.
You have a D40. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably just so the timeliney things can just catch up. I'll probably wait for the morning to do what I was going to do.
Okay. So we'll get through to the morning. Kral.
Yes.
Before you left, I don't know if you picked it up from the recording of last week, but before you left the forge, he was working with Ember.
Yes.
She'd been using this.
She gave me something.
She gave you something, yeah. There was this. You've not had a chance to look at it really until the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'd certainly been using this tool to do a bit of woodwork, and then suddenly she'd just give it a squeeze, and it would turn into a different sort of tool, and she'd be able to do some leather work with it. And you were seemingly impressed with it, and she said she's got a few of them, so offered it to you. So I'll add that to your inventory for you.
Oh.
So you can do with what you want with that. So who's up and doing things in the morning?
I will be.
Okay. And what are you
After
up
the
to?
rounds. I'm first going to see if Sasha came back last night. Check on her room.
I don't think she did.
When I awoke in the morning, I'd probably have limped back at some point, but I don't know what time that would have been.
Okay.
Probably
Then
not as early as you're up. Don't you?
Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
carry on.
I was going to go down into the workshop to see if Kral is awake.
Which probably brings me up to my thing. Kral probably wouldn't have slept and would have been making some fairly furious preparations and would have used his time to summon his new familiar, which would take the form of a hawk. And he would probably leave for the council building approximately 4 or 5 a.m. to see, on the premise of trying to find out if they could provide him with either another Ring of the Maker or some way of obtaining the fabricate spell, which he doesn't currently have.
Right. Sorry, I was just half reading something. Who are you talking to, or what were you reading about the fabricate spell? / bring the bacon.
Yeah, so he wants to head to the council building to see if somebody can either provide him with an item that will allow him to use the fabricate spell, or some way of using it as it's currently beyond his current level magically.
Okay, so are you just going in and asking for Lucrezia, or
Yeah. So
Yeah.
seeing if she's about.
Okay, yeah, she's back at her desk, early morning. Oh, Graal, morning.
He looks like shit, and he hasn't slept, and he's a little bit manic.
Are
Need,
you okay?
let's circle back to that, but I need a way to be able to use the fabricate spell. I acquired a unique ring recently, but lost it due to an incident on our travels in Bervia. Is there any sort of way to maybe procure one of those items, or at least get me some rolls or a couple of pearls with the spell to be used?
A ring able to cast fabricate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that a ring of the maker. That's what they call them, isn't it?
I believe so.
I might be able to get hold of one for you, actually. They're not too uncommon amongst the sort of, I don't know, practical testing people types, so I could have an ask around.
If you wouldn't mind. There's also another piece of business I wanted to run past you. Has there been any word from Belfast Land regarding the disappearance of that village and my birth parents, shall we say?
So yeah, sorry, there's a lot that's happened. There was, with the last rift, a town that went missing. Let me see, and starts looking through a little journal. I know it wasn't the capital. That would have made quite big news. It was a little seaside town called Kierstadt.
Right. And
Whereabouts is it you're from? I hope it's not there.
well, see, I don't rightly remember. I was only small when I got washed away in a storm, and Brimble. But I remember that the two people that I believe my parents were called Hale and Taurus.
Right.
But like I said, they're only a vague memory, and I probably wouldn't even recognize them if you put them in front of me. It's been
Well,
25, 30 years, and, Brimble's the one that raised me.
let me just make note of those names, and I'll see if I can check out a list of the townsfolk and jot those down. I'll look into that for you.
Are we able to teleport to Libido, the capital?
Yeah, we've got a portal for that.
I may be back later because I have some business there.
Okay.
And thank you for delivering the hard to the workshop. That's appreciated.
Yeah, that were a little odd when all that stuff arrived. I know you warned me, but some of the others.
If I told you that was about 15% of the actual total hard that was on the thing, would you believe
I know those things are massive, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we did a good job on that. But
Mm.
anyway, if you can get a hold of one of those rings of the Maker, I would be eternally grateful.
See what I can do.
Right. Okay. And I need. Would it be possible to get a message to SETI? I have something in my possession which I believe belongs in his library.
Yeah, possibly. Although I believe Lemon is in town,
Lermy's here.
and he may be coming to see you.
Right, but yeah. This is something that I wouldn't be comfortable giving to anybody but SETI himself.
Well, I appreciate that.
But it will be good to see Lermy again. It's been too long. Right, I've taken too much of your time already, and Carl will literally just thank you for your help, and he's literally just going to turn and go, completely sort of out of character, a little bit. Again, little bit manic.
And she sits there, and you may or may not hear her go, "Didn't ask him about the custard."
And then sort of I'll head into town because I need some. I'm going to go and hunt and see how much it's going to cost me for the leather for the under wrap for the plate of armor that I'm going to make for burn you from this Nosero hide.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Ben, you just got some fresh armor recently. Some viney. Okay. Before we get to some shopping, who else is up to what?
Yes. So, Thaddeus would be up fairly early in the morning, and just whilst it's a bit quiet, he would, for the first time, just kind of sit there on the couch where he slept, and have his eyes closed, and just try and ask a question to Ursith.
Okay.
Along the lines of, I never asked you for anything, and you of me, but it seems that I've been put into path with this group for a reason. We've come across some information to do with you and your kin, the past, present, and, well, now future, as it seems. Are we helping you, as in the gods, or actually trying to save the world? You know, I'm much like you. I like to sit on the fence. Fun to be had when fun is to be had. A bit of mischief when you can. But you do seem like you're sitting or leaning more to one side of the fence than the other. And there's no malice, there's nothing. It is purely morbid curiosity in his speaking and questioning, because he knows who he follows. What do they want, basically?
Okay. Make me a faith check, please.
Oh, this is my first faith check.
Ooh, exciting.
Probably a better luck than I did.
Well, that's not too bad. 19.
19. Okay. As you Yeah, as you sit there and just kind of almost casually ask this question, reaching out to the god that you've never really spoken to, the only thing that comes into your mind are a series of numbers. Or some sort of code, at least.
You've tuned into a numbers station by mistake.
And there's
Night Vale moment.
Yep.
C17, 3, 14, 67, and that's it.
Okay. Before I ask this next question, the first question is, were they just made up on the spot?
From me, yes.
Okay, cool.
There's method.
That's fine. It was no. I
There's
guess
5% madness.
I will not ask what were those again. Then I'm pretty sure I've got them all, so it's cool.
It was C17.
C17. That was the main one because it had the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Being the first time that Thaddeus has done this, he will kind of probably linger on for a bit too long in that prayer state as such, before he realizes that there is no more communication to be done in whatsoever form. And then we'll just kind of, not jolt up, but sit up and, we'll now give food for thought on what he's just been told, he assumes.
I'll probably walk into the room and realise that you were sleeping on the sofa. Good morning.
Morning, Benya. Sleep well?
I did. It was good. Meglanar is a warm companion. I am concerned, though. Sasha, I think, came home late, and Kral is not here.
Oh, well, you all seem to know the city a little bit better than me. I think I may have heard Sasha crawl in this morning, assuming that it was, well, alcohol and fights entailed.
That would not surprise me. It seems her kind of thing.
Don't believe I heard Kral leave, though, but...
He's not in his workshop, so...
Well, I think we're safe. As safe as we can be here than anywhere else, and I think Kral may be leaving for good reasons from the previous day encounters.
He is carrying guilt for himself and Imarius.
Yes, it would appear so. But, well...
I am concerned he will let it consume him.
Well, I think the others might be up soon, so... Assuming as we're back in the city, supplies will be needed for the next venture.
Certainly. I think we have... Mazdak has plans of going to a library, so...
Yes, I'd
it will
like
take at least a few days to get through all of that.
Yes, indeed. I am... and Thaddeus will kind of do that whole... Not almost begging, but that whole sort of like pat his pockets and be like, there's some supplies I would need, but I've been on the road for so long, I don't have much cash. Do you think the group would lend a few gold before the next payment?
I'll just kind of dig into my bag and kind of chuck you a pouch of 100 gold coins. I doubt there is much that I need at the moment.
Lucrezia did leave a big bag of gold last night. Obviously, Thaddeus, you joined after the last meeting, but everyone else has been given 800 gold. It's 100 gold a day, the current rate.
I don't remember if I've added that or not.
I don't think
Don't
so.
think we did.
I think it was just left that the gold was passed over.
Yeah, I didn't specify how.
Session ended, and then yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
800 gold, yeah?
Add that. I'll give you 200 then. That is.
Thank you.
I don't really have much use for it. Certainly more gold than I was ever paid before.
Yes, but very much appreciated. I'll get it back to you as soon as I can, and
You're
it's
fine.
a start to get some of the materials I may need.
There's a knock at the door.
I'll wander over and answer.
You open the door to a rather lovely looking dragonborn, gold dragonborn fella.
Trying to remember if Bernier met Lermy. I think I did.
Yeah,
Ah,
everyone that went to Greconoria then would have. So that would be you four. So Amarius, Salviel, and Thaddeus wouldn't have.
Lermy, good morning. To what pleasure do we have for your visit?
Good morning. Was just hoping for a quick chat. I've bought pastries.
Ah, wonderful. A couple of us, Sasha is still asleep. I don't know about Mazdak. Please come in. That is Thaddeus, by the way. One of
Thaddeus.
our newer companions. He's Persith. Is that correct? I think I am.
Yes,
Cheers.
you are. Good morning, fellow.
This is Lermy. I apologize. I do not remember the full name.
Lamintaranax is the full name.
What a fantastic sounding name, Laminter Arnax. Brilliant.
Lamintaranax, yes, my friends call me Lermy.
I will go and check on Mazdak. I'm going to go up and knock on Mazdak's door.
You get no answer. Mazdak was up and out as soon as he woke up to the library. This is the best thing ever for Mazdak, is a chance to spend all day in the library researching things. There's no
Wonderful.
way he'd have been sleeping in.
I'll go over to Sasha's room. Is she still out cold?
Don't know. Am I back yet?
Yeah, you can be back.
This is the next morning. I assume you
Yeah.
came back at like 3 a.m.
I doubt she'd come in and completely crash. She'd probably like peel off the bloodied clothing and clean herself up and just sort of
I'm kind of
try and wind down after a busy day, because she did end up having some unconsciousness.
I'd assume
one
you
that
come
would've-
back in the middle of the night after.
Well, she said in the last session that she was passed out in an alley for most of the night. So
So, I think it's fair to assume you'd have been woken by noises in the street at like 6 or whatever, as people are starting to move about, and would have slumped home for sort of 7. Which Mazdak and Kral have disappeared by then, but this conversation is after that.
I'll head back down. Sasha is about, but Mazdak is also gone. And Kral and Mazdak are gone. I don't know where they have gone. Unfortunately.
Well, how's it going?
Interestingly, to say the least. We have been to Oninia for the rift that opened there. Was word sent forward to you of gotten her name?
Contarara?
Word gotten to you of Contarara.
She's gone missing, is all that I know.
Yeah. She came to pick a fight with us in Oninia during the rifts and apparently teleported. Apparently a poor choice when the rift is ongoing.
Interesting. So there's no way to know what actually happened to her.
Not that I know, I'm afraid.
Well, we will need to make arrangements for the takeover of her town. It usually goes to an offspring, but she didn't have any. Never mind, that's for... I'll leave that to SETI to resolve.
Indeed. I think Mazdak was talking of speaking to SETI, so we may be returning to Draconoria soon.
Right. Well, actually, that's kind of why I popped by. SETI actually did want a word with you, or all of you as a group, not just you, Bernia. But yes, so there isn't a direct portal to the town of SETI from here, but I can get here at my own personal teleportation circle, so we can use that. So SETI asked me to come and check in with the Mage Council and to invite you to come back with me.
Well, I believe we were planning on research and resupplying today. But
Yes.
you are welcome to stay here and rest.
I have to spend the day with the mages, which is fun or not fun, depending on. So, Stanyard is my ex,
It's fair enough.
so that could be awkward.
Relations with mages are tricky to broach. So perhaps we set off tomorrow. I'm planning on
think that's
heading
good. Yes, I think that's...
planning on heading to town to try and track down Mazdak and Graal. So
Right, well, if you need me while I'm in town, I will be at the Major Council building. Is it just you in, I presume, the kitchen? I don't know. I always picture that's where talks happen.
chatting
That's
in
where
the
you'll find me in the kitchen at parties anyway.
You'll find me wherever the dog is.
That's fair. Yeah, he would have just walked in and dropped this little hamper of pastries on the kitchen table. Is it just you in there, Bernia, or is anyone else around?
I would have been in there. I would just to speak as well and join in. And
I don't know about Sasha or Salviello or Marius. There's the other possible ones at the back at home.
I was going to say I probably would have wandered back at some point during the night and just searched rooms until I found an empty one. So somebody will have woken up at this point by noise and wandered down to the kitchen. Or wandered down to where the noise was.
Good morning.
To try and find a bedroom. Thaddeus just sort of crashed on the couch, and the first soft thing he found.
You see, that was my plan. And I was at least considerate enough to not just collapse on top of him or, like, go tip the couch, lie on it myself. But, so searching for a bedroom. Disturbing other people's sleep because of his being inconsiderate.
I stayed up quite late last night, and you went back by that point, so it's not my fault I passed out.
No, I think it is. You should have been prepared if you're passing out.
Apologies. Note, must do better.
Now,
And
I have created a proper floor plan for the building, but without looking that up, I can't remember how many bedrooms there are. But this was a house built by mages, so let's just say there's an
There's
extra
more.
bedroom.
there's always an extra bedroom.
Yeah.
Where did that all come from?
Architecture.
Morning, Sardiel. How did you disappeared quite quickly when we got here yesterday?
I had a lost word. Matters to attend to a temple.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's what
Fair
we're going to
enough.
use.
This is
Good to see
Oh.
you again.
Our local, totally not a pastry seller, apparently. Good to see you.
I did
This-
bring more though if you wanted any.
No,
you
I think I'll
seem-
pass.
familiar with each other.
A high priest of Leosol, did you know?
I think so. I think Lemmy told us that.
Yes,
You don't.
absolutely.
Yeah. I am just surprised I never made the link. Yes. This is Lemintoranax and Salviel.
Well, strange how the threads of fate have found our way together again.
I'll just like glare at him in a manner that other people in the room will be able to feel.
Probably some thunking as somebody's sort of boofing their way down the stairs slowly.
Sasha is awake as well. Good morning, Sasha.
Mm.
Good morning, Sasha.
There are pastries.
You can see she's got like black eye, probably like loads of scratches and scrapes and bloodied lip and all that kind of stuff. Morning.
Maybe some coffee first.
My friend Lemintoranax is here.
Lermy.
Good to see you again. Well, enjoy the pastries. Enjoy your day in the city. I will see you tomorrow. I will just be. I'll wait for you. In the. Actually, should I come here? Or I can perform this.
It might be best we can arrange to all be here tomorrow.
What's
Yes.
happening? Sorry.
Seti wishes to speak with us. So
Of course.
Well, very nice to meet you. Again, we'll motor ahead with our stuff today, Lemmy, and Lermy, and we'll meet you tomorrow. Sorry, I had to get that in there. I was like, it's so close.
wrong character, Fiddy.
That name was originally one of those just made up on the spot because someone said, "What's their name?" And I was like, "Lermy," and then spent a week coming up with that's got to be a nickname. What's his real name? Come on.
Lemintoranax.
Lermy.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, when you like repronounced it, I was like, fuck's sake, I honestly thought you said Lemmy there. And I was like, a Motorhead joke has got to come along somewhere.
Well, yes. Enjoy your day. I will see you in the morning.
Yeah, yours too. Thank you for the pastries.
No problem. Excellent bakery. I can recommend.
Yeah.
Farewell. And he turns with a swoosh of his cloak and wanders back out the door.
Without turning to her, I'm just going to say, was the black guy the only injury you sustained?
Let's just say that there are many others that are worse off.
Good. Just be sure to tell us before you go off. I woke this morning concerned. I was
Figured
concerned
it was
last night.
safer for everybody if I wasn't here last night. Especially certain people.
He is still asleep. As far as I know. But
I'm so glad he
don't
sleeps so soundly.
Don't get yourself riled up at him. Focus yourself elsewhere. There's no point riling against someone who seems unwilling to feel.
I'm sure there's a few things I could make him feel.
I'm sure there would be.
That would make me no better than he.
Exactly.
Can't hear you, Dad.
Like everything's broken.
Yeah.
Look, is having technical difficulties.
So, Mazdak, we'll give Dan a second. Mazdak, you're beelining for the library.
Absolutely. I'm going in with. I've taken my book and a couple of extra blank tomes because I intend to make lots of notes. Yay, Dad's back.
You can hear me now. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Fucking. Go on, you carry on.
Okay.
What were you trying to say? Dan.
I was just going to say at that point, that's when I'd flounce down into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And just be
Good
like,
morning.
morning.
Marius, did you sleep well?
Oh, who bought pastries?
A friend of ours will be
And I'll
traveling
just help myself to one.
to Gregonoria tomorrow. So if you have
Oh.
affairs you need to sort, then do.
No, you know me, nothing to tie me down. I'll just take a few of these and I'll just be in the living room when you need me.
Just take one.
Ooh.
for now.
You need a little bit of a rest, Sasha. You look a bit beat up. Maybe some makeup or something will cover that up nicely.
How much of this is
Anyway, have a good
how
day.
much of this is a front from Marius? How much is he covering up how he's actually feeling?
To be honest, it was yesterday's problem. Today's a new day, and he doesn't really care. He can't control it. You know, it's done. It's done.
Good to see you are not brought down by events you had put into motion.
Events that are out of our control. Worry about the things you can control. Anyway, don't let me keep you.
The look on Sasha's face indicates like the only thing that she's thinking about controlling is how much air is going through his
Lungs.
As I said,
lungs.
some makeup would, fix that.
That's why
Sasha.
she's going to push her chair out, grab her book, and just head out the door to the garden.
Something I said?
Marius, be careful.
I always am. Anyway, don't let me keep you. And I'll just find the comfiest chair in the house and just lounge around, waiting to be told what to do.
The comfiest chair may be Mazdak's.
Is it big enough for me?
Well, you've got to get in the room first.
Do you keep the room locked?
Oh, yeah. There's books in there.
Boy,
The
you try to unlock doors in order to get to.
No, the comfiest accessible chair.
Fair. Okay. You can do that. So back to the library.
Yes, right. So I have my book, and I've got a couple of blank books that I'm going to be putting notes into, and there's lots of things I want to research today. I'm probably going to start with any mentions of the Dream Lord or Renee, Queen of the Aberrant. So I want to research those two. As this, my primary focus is those two, but I'm absolutely intrigued by this the Everburn. So I will spend a lot of time trying to work out if there's any mentions of that at all.
Okay. So you walk in the library as you've done many times. I've been in this library many times before.
Many.
And you say your greetings to the clerks that are working there, and they recognise you and know you've got clearance, and so you know that I mean, this is an enormous place, probably the biggest building in the city. And you've got floor A and floor B and floor C, and it goes all the way up to, well, quite a few floors at least, looking up through the central column. And you know how to index things and find things. So let's start with Renee, Queen of the Aberrant. Give me an investigation check for that.
Before Mazdak does this role, because what I wanted to do may help them, if I may.
Well, Mazdak has disappeared off at the crack of dawn.
No, oh yeah, we're wibbly wobbly timey wimey, aren't we?
Yeah. If you want to at some point get to the library, you
well,
can.
I was also going to at some point send Mazdak a message from my bequeathed deity of the information what I got.
Okay, well, let me do, because obviously I've been
Yeah, completely.
doing this before you're awake, this part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Up to the DM, but I would suggest that possibly researching the Queen of the Aberrant will take some hours.
Yes.
So therefore, once I've done that bit, you can then chime in with your message or turn up or whatever.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, so investigation. Not great at investigation, to be honest. That's a 15.
15. Okay. You do find some information on this entity. Nothing that states this is an immortal creature.
Yeah.
But certainly there have been reports out of a certain island of Voyavikia. This is a very large island to the west-hand side of Elf Country.
Okay.
If in fact, I could share my screen.
I
If we
see that.
pop that up. So, Elf Country, Voyavikia. This large island on the west-hand side is kind of the only significant place in the world where Hanumo is worshipped in any way, societally. They are the outcasts of the Elven society and were sort of pushed back there several hundred years ago, several thousand years ago. Elf timelines, difficult to translate.
Okay.
But there have been reports of this creature that controls very weird, almost non-natural creatures
Okay. This would be Renee that controls them, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, is there any detail on that? I know it's only a 15, but are we talking constructs or like the
Clue may be in the name.
non-natural creatures? Yeah,
Aberrants.
aberrants.
Aberrations.
Yeah, aberrations. Sorry, aberrations. Should have picked that up. Okay, cool. Okay, so this island I would know. Is there a teleportation circle to Voyavikia? Presumably there is.
There is, yes. To God, I can't even remember. It's up there. Tiny little place.
Okay. So
Can't even,
as far away as possible, really.
really very far.
Hmm.
In fact, I wonder, without having thought of this beforehand, I haven't even got the map up for Galmaria, but it might possibly be worth going from Galmaria
Okay.
across the sea.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So presumably it's about this sort of time that the message from
Yeah.
Thaddeus would come through.
Yeah, I'd probably be on my way. I'd let the others know on my way to the library. Not being in. Well, I've been in the city before, but not like as a long time. So wandering my way through, and just on the way. Yes, I will just mark this off. So I'm doing it ascending, and you'll hear Mazdak. I may have gained some information of where to look if I'm reading it right. On my way to the library, shouldn't be long. We'll tell you when I'm there. Oh, is that it?
Shouldn't be long because of.
Okay. And I can respond to that, yeah? Sending?
You can respond. You can respond to this message.
Okay, cool. Oh, right. Okay, brilliant. I will continue on with my research. Have quite a lot of done already, but I think it's going to be another couple of hours. So, yes, pop along whenever you can. Just drop my name to the people on the desk. This has gone way over the...
Yeah.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, but...
I knew you were going
What's
to talk
very
to
in character.
other counted.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I make my way to the library and try and find Mazdak then.
There may be some trouble getting into the library for you, but I'll leave that to the DM.
I don't know that, so we'll
Yeah. No, that's
try and find it out.
Okay. So as you try to enter the library, there is somebody who waves you over. Says, "Oh, hello, good day, sir. What can I help you with?"
Good day. My friend Mazdak is here. He got up a lot earlier than the rest of us. I was meant to come with him, but I'm just trying to meet him now.
Could you just keep your voice down, please, sir?
Yes, sorry. My friend Mazdak is here. I'm just trying to meet up with him now.
Mazdak, yes, I know Mazdak. He's just up on the second floor, and there's some tables around the back.
Marvelous, thank you. Is there entry to this payment?
No,
Okay.
not for friends of established If Mazda tells me otherwise, then you'll be removed.
Okay, thank you. I'll go up to them now. And on his way, we'll just kind of will try and be as quiet as possible after he was like, "Can you keep your voice down, please?"
You were speaking in a completely normal tone.
Yeah, I know.
Just couldn't help the stereotype.
So yes, I'll probably find Mazdak with his head deep in the books.
Mazdak's literally surrounded by books, some of which don't appear to be relevant to the Queen of the Aberrant search, but there will be a cross-reference somewhere that he's found, and he's then looking for locations and stuff like that, and he's making loads.
Yeah.
The quill is beside him in the air, writing notes in one of the open books. Oh! Morning, Thaddeus.
Morning, Mazdak. Good to see you.
You do have to be a little bit quiet.
Yes, I was told outside,
Yes.
so I will be.
So, you message me some sort of information.
Yes. I'm not going to whisper,
No, let's.
but we are whispering.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you if you did.
Yes. So I, for the first time, tried to, shall we say, commune with my deity.
Is this really the right place to be talking about religion? I mean,
No, but it's the story, and I know you like a good story.
okay.
And the information I got back was almost like it was a code, a sequence of numbers,
Interesting.
which when looking at them could be either like something to do with chapters, pages, or maybe actual words fitting, shelving books of where they
Oh,
are. And
so a sort of a reference to a particular location in the library.
yes, but I don't know if it's going to be this one or the other one you were talking about from SETI.
Ah, yes, of course. Well, let's hear the code, and we can see.
Yes, and he'll kind of like fumble out a bit of paper from his robes and be like, yes, so it was C17,
C1
3,
3
14,
1 4
and then 67.
6 7. Does that mean anything to me in the scheme of the library context?
Yeah, you've walked past. Every single shelf is labelled A1, A2, A3 on the third level of the library, C16, 17.
Yeah. Okay, so I will sort of say the word that is engraved on the table to put all the books back, and the books just sort of get up and start floating back into the shelves where they're supposed to be.
Thaddeus will have like a giddy magic and knowledge
it's a
moment
magical
of like,
library. I know I'm taking liberties with your world, but that's what I figured would happen. I mean, there are drinks that come out and get formed out of clouds, so magical books putting themselves back seems okay. And,
that's just marvelous.
pack up my books
In a bird's dream.
and then just get to the location that I've just been told about to see what is there.
Yeah, so you go up a level, and this oddly is taking you to a fiction section which you normally wouldn't visit, but you go and find C17, and then the rows, the shelves of the books are all numbered as well. So you go and find row 3, and the 14th book along, and pull that out and flick to the 67th page of this book that is just an old adventure novel, really. Doesn't seem at all relevant, but Thaddeus, as you just look at the
Doesn't
first
matter
3
to me.
words, no. But yeah, Thaddeus, as you open the book to the 67th page, and just the first 3 words on the page just say, "Save the world." That's what you asked.
I know it is. I love that. It's really good. like,
Beautiful.
So this Mazdak sort of looks at him for a bit. Is this a joke? Do
no.
is this,
It's.
I only
and
have a
he-
certain amount of time for
yes,
today
so-
to research actual information, and you sending me to this part of the library to read the words "save the world," which is what we're trying to do already, seems a little, if I may say so, frivolous.
Yes, but I also
Good.
think
I'm glad
that
we agree on that. Now I'm going to get back to work. Okay? If you're going to
In-
be here, you can assist. But any more ridiculousness, and I'll have the librarians put you out.
Thaddeus will assist
Mazdak is
him.
like, not
Yeah, no, Thaddeus will
pleased.
assist Mazdak, but will also internally chuckle to himself of the genius of his
DM.
DM and deity.
Yeah, DM deserves inspiration for that one. So, obviously, the next one I want to do is the Dream Lord.
I think we'll just take a quick break before
Sure.
we move on with that.
Absolutely.
If Thaddeus was to turn over to the previous page, would the bottom 3 words be "save the
Take the
cheerleader"?
cheerleader.
Cool. Right, okay, we'll be back after these messages. Remember, kids, your local library is the place to be. It's fantastic. Just don't bring a dick along with you.
there may be some pretty big evils. Sorry, there may be some pretty big evils in my world, but at least there's nothing like a politician in there.
Cool. So, yes, we're back. We've been talking about politics during the break. And LED
choice.
lighting, which is, awesome. So, we're back with Mazdak in the library.
Ash, were you and I fighting because we're wearing different colours politically?
Scotty Dinosaur.
Yeah, Ranger.
The Red
Don't know what-
Ranger.
In fact, I'm going green.
Awesome. Back to black for me.
I remember to put a t-shirt on.
Oh, shit, I'm wearing purple. Get it off of me.
So,
Ending.
oh dear.
Okay, so we're in the library.
Yes.
Mazdak's just got a bit annoyed with Thaddeus for wasting precious research time. Before we jump back to that, is there anything anyone else is doing that we want to cut between?
I was gonna pop to town and see what's the shopping. Really.
Yeah, Sasha would probably be out in the garden reading the book until
I
she
figured you
sees
might not take the day to do that.
until Bernier comes out, and then she'll go with Bernier to do a little bit of shopping and then come back and spend probably the rest of the day reading the book.
Also going to try and find Kral. I can probably. Well, Thaddeus said he was going to the library, so I'll assume that Thaddeus has told Mazdak.
About.
About Lermy.
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
We're in a
shopping and locating our awful friend.
Have you, Bernier, gone to look for Kral?
If I run into him while shopping, definitely I might. If I don't run into him whilst kind of visiting, like the blacksmith or the that I think there was a magic item shop that Mazdak showed us. Then I might go and ask about. Maybe I'd go and ask Lucrezia. I don't know why I'm having such names today.
It's not been a day.
I would have gone to the sort of the tanners and the clothiers and essentially dropped about 500 gold on some good quality leather and strong thread and cloth to add the inner plates for the armor.
Oh, you can get. You wouldn't need to spend 500. Like,
Okay.
to get in all that you could carry, it'd be 100 gold.
Okay. So yeah, or sort of he'd ask them to deliver it to the house. So he'd probably drop like 100, 150 gold on all of the stuff that he needs.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, if you want to spend the 150 on that. Okay, so what shops were you going to head to? Sure.
Pop to the blacksmith, see if they've got anything interesting. I don't think we have the time for them to do any upgrades to our weapons if we're leaving tomorrow morning.
The sort of first level enchantments take a day, so you could get one of those done. But if you wanted more,
Don't remember the first levels. They pinned. Oh, not in that one.
Well, I've got my +2 that I was looking to get enchanted, and I can keep hold of my +1 until it's ready. So I'm happy to, if it takes a bit longer. I can't remember how much it all costs and everything.
well, if you two want to head into the Smiths,
Yeah, pop into the Smiths. See what's about.
so you wander into Scalebane's magical smithy. And there's a couple of dwarfs milling around. Most of the shop is just, racks of pre-made things, but there's a special counter where you can go and speak to someone about enchantments.
Just kind of take a look at the weapons. Eventually, go to the counter. Good morning.
You right?
Yes, well, thank you. Been adventuring. New
Well,
armor.
If you're out adventuring, it's good that you stopped here, because we do all sorts of good stuff that might help.
Aye.
Might help keep you alive, I mean.
Oh, it certainly has.
Sorry, that was me getting up my +2 sword.
Hold my warding greatsword. I was hoping to inquire about what enchantments you all have. The one that you put on this before has proven very effective.
Oh yeah, right. And you just see the eyes sort of glaze over as they look. Oh yeah, I can see there's a bit of warding on that. That's a good one. Yeah. What else did you want? I think that's just a basic warding. Did you want to upgrade that or look at getting anything else?
And I will be traveling away tomorrow, so I do not have a great amount of time. I think I found it in the side games channel. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Well, if you're going away tomorrow, there's definitely stuff we can do that takes sort of a day. So if you ordered it now, you could pick it up before you left tomorrow. That would just be the first level enchantment of anything that you choose.
Oh, yes. Hang on.
We do also do bundle deals. So if you wanted to get a stock item off the shelf and leave it with us, then we could enchant that over any length of time, and you can carry on adventuring with what you've currently got.
It's true. See, I've got a problem here because I have got a very fancy, very nice +2 sword in my backpack, but Bernier is attached to her old sword. No. Perhaps you could, I have another. Perhaps I could leave this with you for perhaps an improved warding enchantment. I find it to be effective.
Right, yeah. We could do that. Is this your +2, your
greatsword? Yeah.
Oh, right there. That's a very sharp piece of weaponry, isn't it?
Yes.
That would be a good, a prime candidate for some extra enchantments.
Though I prefer something defensive than to simply do more harm with it.
Right. Well, in terms of defensive, we do the warding, which you already know about, and yeah, we could certainly make a better warding over a bit more time on this this very sharp one that you've got. Or we could do. There's another sort that does sort of little explosions when you hit things, and it pushes things away from you. That's quite defensive too, I suppose.
I think I prefer to handle positioning myself, so I think the warding would be best.
Okay.
So I'm happy to drop 750 to put the upgraded warding on it.
Right, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. If just goes and fiddles with some paperwork, pulls it out. Is that the right one? Yeah. Right. +2 warding enchantment. Right, I'll just sign Escalas. Let's go in. If you just want to sign over here, did you want to pay all up front, or did you want to do half now, half when you pick it up?
I think I pay all at once. I prefer to do it that way.
Absolutely. Of course. Yep, if you just sign there, leave the weapon with me. I will make sure this gets an improved warding enchantment on it.
Thank you very much.
That will be ready in about 4 days.
Thank you.
I
No,
would
thank you.
also like an enchantment on this and hand him my +2 sword.
I get the feeling you're less defensive.
That would be correct.
Got a life in this I have. So what sort of enchantment? What sort of enchantment would you like on this?
I like the vampiric that I had on my previous sword, which I
Very
was
useful.
considering going upgraded with that on this sword. The 2nd level.
Second level vampiric enchantment on this +2 greatsword. Well, you will be a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely, we can do that. Sure, we can't tempt either of you to go for the +3, or are you just gonna happy to? It does take like nearly 2 weeks to do, so.
And I don't think I have the funds for that, I'm afraid.
The level 2 would leave me not completely lacking, but it would wipe out most of my funds. Perhaps one day. We will return with a +3 for the level 3.
Perfect. We do also do the +1, 2, 3 as well. So if you wanted me to turn or one of my people I work with, you know the word, to turn it into a +3, we can do that as well. But for now, you just want the +2 vampiric enchantment on this +2 greatsword.
Please.
I gotcha. Right. Let's sort that out. Sticks it down, goes and signs. There you go. That'll be 2,000 gold then, please, for that.
Hands all 2,000 over.
Very good pleasure doing. Said I wasn't good at talking. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. This will also be ready in about 4 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've taken the 750 off on my front. I may return for a bit more, but we have some other things to check first. But thank you.
Absolutely. And don't forget Scalebane's magical smithy for all your smithing and enchantment needs. Have a good day.
And you.
Yorick, if his cousin didn't drag him off on an adventure.
Basically.
Right. There was a trinket shop here as well, was there not?
I cannot remember, but my funds are on the lower side. I spent the majority of my gold.
It's fair enough. I still have some coin, so
I like the vampiric because, as well as dealing more damage, it helps to keep my own health topped up.
I can see that. I find it a bit distasteful with my dedication to Nagale. But I value defense more, either way.
At the end of the day, I think the pain helps me sometimes.
Don't let it ruin your life, though.
Might be a bit
Pain
late for that.
It is a good teacher, but not a good partner.
Well, as long as you've got a safe word. I couldn't help it, sorry.
It's not even the pirate campaign.
I know, it's just...
It doesn't matter.
So before we continue your shopping jaunt, let's jump back to the library.
Oh, awesome! Yes. So after getting over the frivolous nature of Thaddeus, we're going to show him what research actually looks like, and we're going to go and research the Dream Lord this time.
Okay. Make another investigation check then, please.
Am I allowed to help Mazdak?
You're there now, so yes, you can.
Awesome.
If I help him, does it mean that I can make a roll too, or it's just Mazdak will have it at advantage?
Generally, that's up to you guys to.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll
I think actually make separate rolls because this is a big library and
oh,
you
that's
look at
cool.
different
So-
shelves.
I'm going to channel my divinity and have knowledge of the ages on my side and put that into investigation.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, you can each make an investigation check.
13.
So that's with my proficiency 16.
16. Oh, sorry. Your channel divinity just gives you proficiency on.
Yeah. So where are we? A knowledge of the ages. As an action, you can use channel ability to gain proficiency with any skill or tool for 10 minutes.
Very useful ability there. Okay. So, as the pair of you look, you each sort of pull off librarians. Wait,
Each
what?
other? What?
Well, books off of the shelves that you think might be useful about certain mysteries, about sort of unknown creatures, about all various different things. You go and just fish a few books off the shelves, come over to a joint table, and then start sort of chatting as you figure things out. But could be this, could be that. The best sort of leads that you get is talking. Is less of a direct reference to the Dream Lord, and more about a mystery of the mind, where people have reported over the years that that something has visited them in their dreams, which, since you are looking for a creature called the Dream Lord, that sort of seems to tie up. Thaddeus, you in particular find a passage of someone's sort of survival account of this. That talks of this entity coming to them in their dream, and basically giving them two scenarios that they've got to figure out how to survive. And that's kind of as in-depth as it gets. It's given these two weird scenarios and they've got to figure out how to survive. The person who wrote this didn't go into too much detail because they were left a bit scarred mentally from the encounter, but they did survive by choosing.
Okay.
But you don't get any idea of a location for such a creature. It seems to exist
Everywhere,
purely in
everywhere.
the dreams of victims.
Kind of purely ethereal.
So, I presume we have the guy's name that this happened to, and
Yes, it was. Well, excuse me, there was a tabaxi called Vorsted who wrote this account.
Tabaxi and gods that send them slightly crazy. Name a better, name a more iconic duo.
Okay, so this Tabaxi, did he mention in his writings where he lived, or how old is this book? Would he still be alive, this Vorsted? Would they be... Yeah. Because I think basically what we're going to have to do is going to have to go and find some victims, talk to them and find out what kind of things brought on these dreams. So we then have to talk to them. So is this book recent, old?
The account was written about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And they were from Nerontia, the country of Nerontia. That is,
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, in particular, that is Tabaxi country. Basically, that's a lot of the population of Nerontia are Tabaxi. It is basically one huge giant forest.
Okay.
For those of us less familiar with the map and having trouble with the names,
Green one.
where should I be
Begins
looking?
with a K.
Big green one on the right-hand side.
Yeah,
Big green.
big
Ah, there we
green
go.
one.
Thank you.
Yes, it doesn't help when I've got silent letters at the beginning of names.
Yeah, like
Valaya. Yeah.
the liar.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume that Sasha's probably been through there, since it's relatively close to Anenia. Just walked about quite a bit.
I'll leave that up to you. That I'm happy for you to say you would have been through there. I think Thaddeus, you've probably been through there as well on your journeys.
So, are there any more recent accounts than 15 years ago? Do we know of any... With all the time ways and time rifts going on, I think I'm going to have to ask someone in the Mage Council about whether there have been reports of people experiencing disturbing dreams like that. So, yeah, that's not a question for just now, that's a question for later.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if Fideism.
No, I'm literally going to ask to
Yeah,
find out if anybody knows if there have been any reported instances like this, like these examples that we found. So
Yeah.
So the last thing we were going to look up was the Everburn. See if there's
Yes.
anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, make your checks again.
Yeah, I will use knowledge of the ages again.
I was going to say you'd need to do it a second time.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Natural 20 for 24.
That's a big one.
That's what she said.
Snap,
That
snap back at you
That's
for
what she's
25.
delighted to say.
My words.
You get that 20 as well?
Yeah, for
Nice.
25.
Lovely.
God.
So if it's here, we know about it.
So basically, what we're saying is Mazdak and Thaddeus are edubating so hard they achieve their goals.
Absolutely.
Edubation for the nation.
Absolutely. Hey, we've been told to save the world. So we're doing it the way we know how, through books.
You were told to save the world through books.
Yeah, exactly. My book has told me to save the world, so...
Okay, so the pair of you set off You've got a little bit of background knowledge on the Everburn already from what you have talked about previously, so you know a little bit of a way to direct your readings, and eventually, just out of like, because you can't find anything for ages, and then because you're looking for something on this extraplanar entity that can grant powers, but then you start to scale back and think about, well, that was someone, that's an entity from the future that kind of parasitically came back with Amarius to the present. So if they were written about or existed in the present, they wouldn't necessarily be as powerful as they were in Amarius's time. So scale back that thinking. Don't worry about these big, all-powerful entities that exist out there in the multiple realms, but just look for elemental creatures that are written about on this plane in this time, and eventually you both come across talks of this elemental creature that was found by the dwarves not too long ago. It seemed to just come out of the magma of the Pytoscan Mountains at some point, in a similar way that the fire giants live in the mountain using the magma in Bervia. That's what the dwarves do in Pytosco as well. And there was this creature that emerged at some point from the magma that started a few fights before being told to piss off and were beaten down. It didn't seem a particularly powerful creature, but it was certainly arrogant. It thought it was powerful. It demanded that the dwarves worship it as it is the Everburn, before it just got clobbered by a few maces and told to piss off, and then it kind of fled back to the magma. But there was that story that came from the dwarves, and that wording of this what's the specific type? It's a type of God damn it, where are you? I'll find it in a second. Is it a Freety? Or is that a different?
Ifrit is the fire equivalent of like.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, yes, that's what it was described as. Sort of fire elemental creature.
Awesome. So, it seems like we would have to. I wonder what happened to it after the dwarves beat it back to the magma.
Well,
It obviously found somebody to worship it,
and then more and more
and
over
got
time.
more and more powerful. So, perhaps we can. Perhaps we need to be looking. It was not discovered too long ago, they're saying. But if it's now. There's now two of it, the less powerful version and the powerful version that Amarius brought back.
Which is still less powerful. But
Well,
yes.
it did explode an entire mountain, so I'm not suggesting that that's not very powerful. I'm saying it is
No.
powerful. So, how did it get that powerful? We must try and understand. I suspect what's happened is it has been charged up by some... It's an elemental. This circles back round to that conversation of whether this is a part of the fire elemental god that was before our current crop of ne'er-do-wells imprisoned them. Perhaps it is a spark of the original fire god. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yes. Leaves us with
More questions
a
than
question.
answers, as always.
Yes. And do we deal with this lesser one now? If it's not here to cause destruction and fire now, it's then not
Well,
able to come back.
the thing is, it already is back. I think basically we have to kill Imarius.
Um,
Before
well,
he's born, therefore...
yeah.
No, I don't say that at all.
Yeah, that poses a good question with sort of like time conjunction and it's yes, more questions than answers for sure, Mazdak, but it's at least we know the beginnings.
We know where it came from.
So yes.
But we also know...
On my
Hold on, one moment. We also know that the creature that started all of this headed to Pytosco. I wonder if that's...
you're
connected.
talking about the big
Yeah, the big bad.
boom in the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That headed towards Pytosco. Perhaps if this is connected, it might not be. This is just Mazdak flight of fancy. Perhaps that was coming back to get rid of that Ifriti.
Elemental, yes.
Yes, perhaps.
DM, on my travels after everything, I know we talked about it and it kind of stuck in my head as well for like, is it Pytosco?
Pytosco, yeah.
Pytosco. Did it seem like there was anything worth of note on my travels through there of the mountain there, with it being quite alive as such, as in more active, since all of this has gone on?
How do you mean? Sorry.
So since obviously the big bad came back, ended this war, I then went traveling and went about places, went through Pytosca. Was there any suggestion that this mountain where the stories we just read from where this elemental was more active? I just obviously walking at the time probably didn't take note, but thinking about it now with all this information,
No, didn't seem to be any more active than any other time. And particularly the event you've just read about with this Ifriti creature was such a low stakes, small event to the dwarves that it took 2 natural 20s to find it in a hidden box.
Yeah.
So unimportant to them, the dwarves.
Okay.
Because well, no natural 20s happen every day.
I rolled 3 in a row last night. Anything can happen.
Quiet you. As someone who has had like one in the entire 12 months of the last campaigns, quiet.
Yes, I did a bit of travelling through Pytosca on my way around and eventually meeting all of you. Nothing really seemed out of the ordinary there at the time, and this was after the big bad too.
Yes. As I say, it may not be connected, but it just seems a bit coincidental that that creature headed immediately for Pytosco, which is where this
Yes.
Ifriti was recently discovered. Well, I say recently, so a while back, but
We definitely need some more
We
information
do.
on these time rifts, and
we do. And
are they all coming from the same point in time in the future as
No.
well, or is it?
Absolutely not. Some are coming from the past. So I think we need to. The next thing we need to do is get access to SETI's library. I suspect that there is some sort of forbidden knowledge there. Who better to look after it than a large golden dragon?
And now you bring SETI up, you have all of this indulging ourselves in knowledge and reading. Lermy came
Oh,
by
yes,
the house
Lermy,
this
yes.
morning.
Yes.
SETI wanted to see us, so we've
Oh, right.
Lermy's coming back tomorrow morning to the house to transport us there.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Lemmy's lovely chap. He's a follower of Leosol, like Salviel. I wonder if they'll get along. Hopefully they've met by now.
The interaction this morning certainly didn't seem so.
Oh. Right.
But
Interesting.
he seemed definitely like a very, very nice fellow. So
Yes, he is. So, well, I suppose we, sort of, presumably this has taken all day, literally, because we've been at it for hours. So we will then head back to the house, saying a very good night and a thank you very much to the librarians, because
yes,
you know they
And-
are the guardians of the high place of knowledge.
on the way back, if there is a late open jewelers as well, I'd like to just make a quick stop in there.
What are you looking for?
So before we go in, Thaddeus would ask Mazdak, Bernie has already lent me some coin for some supplies, which
Right.
would come in handy. But I don't suppose you've got an extra 24 gold I could borrow until I gain some.
Yeah, Mazdak will just put his hand in his bag, bring out a sack full of coin, or just here, give you a sack of 50 gold.
Thank you. I'm just gonna try and pop in here and see if I can get a diamond, just in case one of us does take a bit more damage in battle. I can bring them back.
Of course, yes, no problem.
It seems
By
to be the only
diamonds.
books that Mazdak don't care about is the accountancy books.
Absolutely not. Mazdak has just no concept of lots of money. Mazdak was dirt poor, therefore money is to be used for anything that could further knowledge.
So yes, I would like to, if this shop does have it, and it's the only one I can buy. If it does, one diamond worth at least 300 gold, please.
Certainly, you can buy a 300 gold diamond.
Marvelous, thank you. I think that's the same as Sasha, where I am now. Oh no, don't do that, idiot! I've just taken off the wrong amount.
Well, you can spend more on it if you want.
No. As in, I took off the amount of what I would have been left with, but I accidentally added it as well. So, yes, there you go. So yeah, I'll have that. Put that in my
Bloody good bargain, that.
yeah, put that in my wares. Thank you, Mazdak. I'll pay you back
yes,
as soon as
no,
the first payment.
don't worry about that. Have you got more? Have you got enough coin for living expenses?
I've got enough to buy some supplies for the first day's travel if we go anywhere, so it's fine.
I'll just hand you another bag of 50 gold pieces. Here, nobody should be wanting for anything.
Are you sure? It's
Absolutely.
well, thank you. Very much appreciated.
So, we better get back. Get ready for going. I have books to organise.
Yes, and questions to think about.
Indeed. We'll get back to the house. I don't know if you want to jump to anybody else doing things before we get there.
So Sasha and Bernia.
Yeah.
Once you'd finished in the smithy,
Go pop by that. There was a magic item shop. I don't remember what it was called, but I know that Mazdak showed us to it before. And
there was Pulsar Plus, I think, was the random curios place.
I'm just interested to see what they have because it seemed interesting last time.
They've got the same stuff as last time.
Same stuff as last time.
You can hazard a guess as to why.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Because you guys got all your goodies a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah. They still have the ring of protection. Did that get?
I think Sasha, didn't you buy the ring of
Yeah.
protection?
I have a ring of protection.
Okay. I don't remember if we bought everything.
There was a hat of wizardry.
Yeah. I'll buy the hat of wizardry and say, get this from Mazdak. I think you would like it.
That's that's just 30 gold then.
Yep.
As long as it's spelled with 2 Z's.
Yes. Eddie Wizard. I'm gonna then after that. I assume we've not seen Kral and our kind of journeys around the city.
Well, yeah, you popped in to buy like your fabric and leathers and things.
Yeah, and then he would have
What did you do after that?
He would probably have inquired. Well, he would have gone home to do a bit more research into the braces and work out if he would need any sort of magical supplies or any additional input on the braces. But he's got his all the fabric and everything ready to begin fabrication, shall we say?
Okay.
Obviously, we may potentially, possibly cross paths coming in and out of town, but it depends on.
Yeah, I'd say walking through a crowd, Kral is easy enough to spot.
Yeah,
So if he was in visuals at any point, you can see him.
If I've seen him about and then kind of we've been busy with our own kind of journeys, I'll look to Sash and say, yeah, let's just go back. I want to talk to Kral.
I have some reading to do.
That'd be good. The garden is good at this kind of time.
As long as certain people aren't there.
I'm sure he would prefer to be sat inside. Come, let's go. I'll head back home. I will, I assume Mazdak wouldn't be back by now?
I would imagine we get back just as it's getting dark.
Yeah.
We've been in the library all day.
Yeah, I mean, Sasha and Bernia, you'd have popped out for a couple of hours. Mazdak and Thaddeus have been out for 8-10 hours in the library. So, yeah, they won't be back yet. But we can sort of skip to it's the evening and everyone's back at the house.
I'll kind of be waiting to speak with Kral if he's in the workshop or if he's not back yet.
Oh, he would be in the workshop by the time he would have been in the workshop for several hours by the time you get home.
I'll go down to the workshop then. Kind of wander down, take a look at the Nosero hide, plate, and
carapace,
Understand.
whatever. Yeah.
So if you were coming down, you'd basically see Kral very sort of hunched forward over the workshop desk. He's got multiple large pieces of parchment up with kind of like a destructed view of what the armor will look like, incorporating the Nostro hide as a full suit of plate. And he's got sort of 3 or 4 different iterations of it in front of him, and he's making notes. You can hear him muttering to himself. No, that won't work. Need to do it this way.
You were trained by a dwarf, weren't you?
Hmm.
How are you doing, Carl?
I'm busy. And he just hunches back over and there's multiple bits of paper across the desk. And he sort of just moves and a bunch sort of falls to the floor.
I'll bend over and pick it up for you. Carl, no one handles what happened yesterday and is perfectly fine.
Well, there's probably only one person in this world that understands what I've done, and that's Severill. And what I've done's worse than he.
I wouldn't say so. What I would say is that if anyone is on par with Severill for what has happened, it is Amarius. He was the one that brought it here. You just did something without knowing the consequences, much like the Sandemians that would have fired it.
And he sort of... This isn't... You've seen sort of Kral annoyed before, but he just basically whirls on Bernia. You... I'm responsible for the deaths of all of those giants. I did it out of vindictive glee. I should have known better. I was raised better. And now, I don't know whether to stay here and see through this task we've been given, or go back and pay for what I've done. Either way, I'm abandoning people I care about.
You will not make up for the guilt you feel by tearing yourself to shreds. Did you even sleep last night?
I think you know the answer to that question before you asked.
Carl. It
Yes.
isn't easy, I know that.
Yes, Amarius is responsible for bringing that thing here. But I'm responsible for the explosion. I'm responsible for giving that thing what it needed to exact its retribution. Now, when we left the mountain, I wanted nothing more than to admit to Shogun what we'd done, well, what I'd done, and let him do what he wanted. But I knew if I did that, none of you would leave the country, and you would have all been caught in the explosion. I've got a few arrangements to make, and other things I need to do, but
What you need to do is sleep before you do those.
Well,
if you want to carry that burden, which I cannot blame you for, I do that myself. Don't let it destroy you. I tell you, I still see the faces of those that I ordered to battle. I still see the faces of those that I cut down. I carry every one of them with me. It is not easy to shoulder the guilt of being responsible for so much death and destruction. But if you let it consume you, you will end up a husk. And you are far better than that Graal. Does he seem to be... Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I've got a choice to make in front of me. Either way, I'm going to feel guilty.
What are the choices?
I can
I
go.
am your friend. I will advise you.
You're the only one I would speak to. None of the others would understand. None of them understand the duty the way that you do. I can go back and pay for what I've done, whether that be by execution or indenture to help them rebuild in the aftermath. Either way, I've committed a genocide by proxy. And yes, Imarius does hold some responsibility, because had he not angered this Everburn, would it have felt the need to exact its retribution on him? Maybe not, maybe. I don't know.
He was the one that brought it here.
But I'm the one that gave it what it wanted. I introduced it to the lava. I gave it everything it needed to do what it wanted. So I can go back, I can pay for what I've done. But that leaves my task with y'all undone. Or I complete this task, possibly die in the process, and then go back. Either way, I'm as bad as Severill in all of this. But the only difference between me and him, I don't have the arrogance to believe that I can put everything right.
I would say that you definitely have the skills to. I would suggest that your path remains with us. The giants will have a lot to do, but land as giant as they are, you will not be able to do as much as you want to do. You will drive yourself to dust, trying to. I can see it in your eyes.
Well, there's one other thing on this matter which I needed to come from someone else. It can't be me. Imarius cannot be allowed near Seti's library. Because if his patron is who I believe it is now, and I believe it's Amanita,
I have my suspicions.
there's too many mushrooms. And he had a clip where he says it's what she will want. And there's altogether too many mushrooms when he's doing magic now. He cannot be allowed near anything that could affect any of us.
Fortunately, we are headed to meet with Seti.
Yes, but we can speak to Seti and he can be denied access to the library. He cannot be near there whilst he is his patron.
He is all too eager to jump into bed with whoever would offer him power.
He will change to whoever he needs to gain the most power. And she will use him to increase her own beyond what she is in Bervia. We can't allow that to happen.
Yes.
But coming back to the point at hand, how do you deal with it? How do you carry that?
The days when I returned from my last battle for 6 months, I spent curled up, unable to face the world. I know that that monster was the fault of Deveril and of countless others, but I still carried the blame of those who died for my inaction on that field. And it is difficult. I still have the faces etched into my memory, but to give up, to stop moving, is to admit that you are a terrible person. To accept the one or two things that you have done as the entirety of your being is to call yourself awful. To ignore the other good things that you have done and that you can. And to try and bury that guilt, as I think Amarius is doing, is to do a disservice to the people who were affected. But to let it consume you is even greater. To let that happen is to let another life be destroyed by what has happened. And Graal, you are impressive. The devices you create are of wonder to me, even more complex than the arm that I rely on. To let yourself be turned to ash by what has happened to be a mistake. To carry forward and to say to yourself that you can do better and that you will make the world a better place despite what has happened. That is what you do. What you do. It never gets easy. You just get stronger.
He doesn't soften as such, but he basically just moves up to Bernia. Doesn't say a word and just sort of wraps his huge arms around her and then just begins to cry. And he basically just melts into a heap in the corner afterwards.
Just hold on to him and just let him work through the emotion.
On that emotional note, I think we'll leave it for tonight.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Excellent work, you two. That was really good.
Yes.
That was cool. That's really good. Okay.
I have no idea if anything I said during that made any kind of sense.
Doesn't
But
matter. It was great. Yeah, cool. So that was good. Slightly unexpected, but really good. Mazdak has more questions for everyone. So that'll be interesting. It's going to have a nice long conversation with Imarius, I think, is the top of Mazdak's list of things to do. So that'll probably go really well.
Joy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just going to be with Amarius either. With Mazda either.
No, there will be. I would hope others present as well, but you know, it's all good though. It's all good questions. So yeah, right. So thank you, Martin, for DMing, even though you are struggling with your voice. That's much appreciated. I hope you get enough soothers down
I know
your
what you're
throat.
talking about. I can talk fine.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
Explaining your
everybody,
yeah.
everybody else, really brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for playing. It's really cool. All that remains to say is we will be back here on Tuesday for more shenanigans of the high seas variety with the elusive tide, and of course we'll be back here for more questions and possibly some answers next Sunday for the investigators. So it just remains to say is thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, how could you fucking not with that, really, honestly, come on. So yeah, if that's the case, if you really did enjoy that, off you fuck, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.